This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. Pleasure to meet you both. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for
Really?
having us,
Wow.
Abe.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your own experience with Maigret and the history before this show, both of you?
Uh,
Ben.
yeah.
Oh.
I'd never come across Maigret before somehow. I'm a French speaker, studied it at school, spent a lot of time there. No one ever pointed me towards Maigret somehow. Slightly embarrassing, but I mean, it was a real joy to discover the books and Patrick's scripts and this incredible kind of unconventional sleuth. And I love his approach to things, like, completely non-judgmental. Just wants to understand people and mete out justice on that basis as opposed to by the letter of the law. I think he's an intriguing figure.
Yeah, I'm much like Ben. I also somehow managed to not know about Maigret. And I'm actually glad in many ways that I didn't have any preconceived notion of what Maigret was because we were creating something completely different. And um, the characters also changed. And with the people that were cast, it meant that the characters' heartbeats felt different to what it was necessarily in the book. So I'm actually glad I did come to it with a kind of open mind. But yeah, I can't believe I missed it. Like, where was I?
Were there any other real life figures or detectives or anybody who did inspire these performances for you?
Oh, good question.
That's such a good question. I don't think I had anyone in my mind actually. That when Ben said this earlier, and I quite liked it. I think that we were all cast for a lot of the qualities that we share with the characters, or at least what Patrick envisioned for the characters that he was making. So I think we were lucky that we just needed to find the elements of us that matched those characters and find. Yeah, I think that's how I saw it. I didn't really feel like I was thinking of anyone in particular for me anyway, for Janvier, that
Yeah, I
that was
think.
a reference point.
Sorry,
No,
yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I came into it, yeah, pretty blind, and there's never enough time with these things. So the idea
yeah.
that you have that you can kind of take a little bit of this detective and take a little bit of that, it's never like that. And actually, I'm too easily, I've got no backbone whatsoever. So if I started watching some other detective, I'd be like, that's the performance for me. So I just really like plowed into the books. It's all there, and there's 75 full-length novels and another 25 odd short stories. So no shortage of detail there. And I was just picking on little bits of that felt like me and things that broke him down because he's such a huge figure and it was all a bit overwhelming. And there's one story about how he met Madame Maigret where he was at a party and he ate all the petit fours out of nervousness, and caused all this consternation at a party. And Madame Maigret came and sort of rescued him from this embarrassing situation where he just overeaten out of anxiety. And I really, I really like that. That was a great story for me, thinking maybe he's just a human dude, isn't he? He's an idiot. He does stuff like that at parties. Um, so yeah, finding things like that for me was my way in to him.
I'm also curious if you say that you guys were cast because you resembled the characters some traits. Was there anything that you discovered that someone else had apparently seen that might be similar between you and the character that you hadn't realized going in?
Well, you said something about this earlier, Shan.
I did, but well, this is the thing. I thought, well, I actually I said it in a way where I felt like I thought I was cool, and I realized Jean-Pierre is much cooler. She's much braver than I am. But what I loved is the confidence that Patrick had in me, that he felt that I actually could meet Jean-Pierre where she was and where she needed to be. And actually, I learned a lot about myself. And I thought to myself, wow, I can really be like an independent woman in a male dominated space and hold my own in a way that, sometimes in your own life, you might feel like, oh, I'm not that confident. And actually, Janvier really, yeah, just made me feel fearless. And I loved the fact that Patrick could see that I had that fearlessness in me. And Janvier definitely isn't scared of much. I don't think. I don't think she thinks she wants to be always at the front and is wants to be the kind of Maigret's right hand girl. And like, I'll do it. I'll do it on my own. Let me drive you, kind of thing. So I think it was amazing stepping up to the woman that she is. That I was like, oh well, I do have a bit of this in me, which is great.
I guess for me, I think I can be quite judgmental, and like I've got a small tight group of friends, and I kind of like, I don't need anyone else. That's my crew, or whatever. And with Maigret, I had to, keep showing up and trying to understand people and be generous all day, um, to people who don't necessarily, in the eyes of the law, deserve it. And also leading the show, there are days where you're just having a terrible day. You've barely learnt your lines, you've barely slept, and you're doing your utmost for these actors who've come in and they've got 2 or 3 days, and they're like, this is my big day, and you're there like, I'm completely whacked, and I've still got to try and do my best for them, best for the show, and like try and be a nice guy about it when I'm feeling like a real arsehole. And that for me to feel like I could do that, as exhausting as it was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not such a bad guy. Just a little bit of a bad guy.
Well, with so much source material, there's obviously plenty to cover in future seasons. Is there anything that either of you particularly would love to explore about your characters that you feel like would be very interesting?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I'm gonna just jump in there, Ben, if that's okay. I would really love to see. I would love to see what Janvier's vulnerability looks like. I don't think we really get to see that on the show, and I don't necessarily know what that looks like for her either. But I would love to see, like, I mean, she seems almost superhuman in many ways. But I would love to see like what is her? I mean, you get that kind of relationship between her and Torrance where you do kind of see her, but even then, she's still in control. So I would love to see like whatever out of control looks for Janvier and her vulnerability, because I think Maigret does see something in her that is um, quite soft and gentle that I don't necessarily think the audience yet get to see, but I think Maigret does because Maigret has good people on his team. Yeah, so I would love to see just what vulnerability looks like for Janvier. I think that'd be exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm really intrigued by what Patrick's version of how Maigret came to be who he is, like why he went down this route, because there's a lot of implication in the book that maybe he in the books that he might have taken a different path, a semi-criminal one. And those darker years I'd like to explore, like what makes him so sympathetic to your average person on the street and to the criminal underworld. I really want to kind of solve that, I think. Yeah.
Well, to many more seasons and cases. Thank you both so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much.